center of the frame as we are getting ready and prepped and prepared. And I just want to say, hey guys, welcome to Lunch with the Boys. My name is Cody Anderson. I'm joined by Jordan Vogel, and we're both part of Good Rep Media. And in case you are new here, Good Rep Media is a small business marketing agency. If you don't know what that is, it means we help small businesses rank better on Google. It means we help small businesses find customers online, help you with your digital presence, help you get actual customers. A lot of people are doing things wrong online these days, and we help you fix all of that. And we do it affordably for at least small businesses. If you're a giant business, we'll overcharge you. Don't worry about it. But Jordan, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty well. This is, I took yesterday off, as the viewers who watched yesterday may know. I took a day off, which was nice and refreshing. And then as soon as I'm done here, I'm probably gonna take the rest of the week off. So
I it's funny that you like mentioned it, and I want to do a quick highlight here. Like, hey, mental health check marks. We're a little bit late. We were trying to fix some technical issues. We were still trying to figure out what this producer role means. So if you're just joining in, we appreciate it. Glad to have you. But I want to touch on this because I was in therapy last week, and my therapist was like, "Hey, so you're talking about feeling a little burnt out. When's the last time you had a day off?" And I was like, "Oh, no, no, no! I had my birthday off." And she was like, "Oh, you mean the day after your partner's surgery? You had that day off?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess that doesn't count, does
yeah,
it?"
day offs on days that are supposed to be day offs don't really like mean anything. It's like, yeah, you get 2 days off every weekend, you get Saturday and Sunday off every weekend, but those are supposed to be days off. It's when it's the days that like you're not supposed to have a day off that really matter and mean something. I find it hilarious. Like anybody from the company watching here probably thinks that I've been super sick because you keep telling everybody I was super sick.
Well, you hit me yesterday morning with a "I
I
don't
was
feel well,"
exhausted. I
and
was
I was like, "Fair."
exhausted. I was up until like 4 a.m. listening to drunk people. I wasn't hungover or anything. I was just exhausted. And I was like, I need
What
a
were
day.
you
I'm
up
gonna use
doing
it
at
for
4
mental
a.m.
health.
on a Sunday?
Huh?
What were you doing at 4 a.m. on a Sunday?
We got back from improv, and then Chris and Colton stayed over, and they were just drinking all night.
Oh, gee. Well,
They
I mean,
weren't being
hey,
like obnoxious or anything.
no, no,
I
no,
got
no, but
tired out because I was arguing with Colton over some stupid shit.
it's a guy's night, which I can
Yeah.
appreciate
It's been
things
a
like
long
that.
time since I've had something like that. So like I wasn't about to like shut it down.
Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, sometimes you need to take, that's why we get PTO. That's why we take mental health days. That's why we have the opportunity to do these things. I will say it can be, oh my gosh, what is today's topic? Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Today's topic, we're on the Good Rep channel, but we were talking about a little bit more of a Joey Matterhorn topic. We're going to be talking about how creative outlets make you a better problem solver at work. Basically, hey, those people who are grinding in your mindset, if you're like, I'm going to do everything, my small business is my whole life, I don't have anything else, there's a really good tip I heard from a writer friend of mine. You write creatively, you can write more interesting things if you experience more interesting things. If all you're doing in life is grinding for your job, if all you do is massage therapy, you're not going to be a very interesting person to talk to while you're massaging someone, because you're not going to have a lot of interesting things going on in your life. You got to have other interests, you got to do other things, you got to diversify. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean I can already tell like exactly where this topic is going to point us to when we talk about our creative outlets and everything, because we talk about the same like three different creative things that we do.
Mhm.
Um Cody, outside of writing D&D and improv, what creative outlets do you have that you think kind of uh assist you in your day-to-day the most?
Yeah. So we touch on the same ones all the time, and those are just general life skills.
Yeah,
I
also don't talk about your YouTube channel either.
we got to start blocking off topics. So one of the things that I enjoy doing quite often is interacting with my cats, and as well as like looking at pretty and cool things. I like traveling a little bit. I'm not a big like let's go to big
You
cities,
like
but I
traveling
like,
as long as you're home in bed by 8 p.m.
well, I more so mean like I enjoy getting out into nature and like getting cool like I took a photo last summer at a campsite Cassidy and I were at where she's like in a tree because the tree grew sideways and there was like a little bench, and that's super cool to me. And so I absolutely love being out in nature and finding those cool little things. And that's just noticing the uniqueness out there. Going out there, experience new things, expose yourself to new areas, and be willing and open to being like, okay, what can we do here? I think it's a creative pursuit just in general. And more than anything else, we dilute all of our like creative ideas because we're like, hey, we do improv, we do D&D, we write. All of this just helps us with neuroplasticity, which, I mean, hell, I've talked about neuroplasticity enough. Have you ever Googled it?
No, you've talked about it enough. I think I get it.
I challenge you guys, if you're listening, go Google neuroplasticity. I talk about it a little bit, but it's basically new pathways in your brains. They talk about mushrooms a lot in this, like people who microdose mushrooms, and there's been a lot of scientific studies surrounding mushrooms. I'm not a scientist, I don't know enough about them, but mushrooms help you basically rewire your brain, and they can help with things like addiction and like, bad habits and negative mindsets, as well as like depression, which I don't know if I can go that far. Have you heard that?
Yeah, no, I actually have heard that, like that, um, but like I've also heard it's like a temporary thing, and that it's almost like that, like they also say like MDMA can almost like kill your what is it like your dopamine or whatever. So like you are almost constantly chasing it for a little bit after. I'm afraid of like similar things with mushrooms where it's like yeah, it kind of helped me with my depression, but now all of a sudden once that depression's back, like how do I beat it without taking mushrooms?
Yeah. And I mean, that's every substance. We have a couple of friends who drink a lot of energy drinks. It's the same exact problem where you're like, oh, I don't have enough energy, so I want caffeine. You start drinking caffeine, your body gets used to that amount of caffeine. Now you're drinking more and more and more and more caffeine. And then you quit drinking that caffeine and you are dead. Like, caffeine headaches are the worst. Have you ever had those?
I
Because
feel like I'm starting. Yeah, I mean, I've never I've had like I feel like a withdrawal headache almost, where like if I'm not drinking the caffeine, I get it. But then like I'm also not like a huge caffeine person. I do like drink like two of my Celsiuses like per day, like kind of spaced out,
yeah.
which are like 200 milligrams each, so they're like around like 2 cups of coffee or whatever. But like um I've noticed recently caffeine almost seems like it's having an opposite effect on me. Like yesterday, Chris and I, like, we both drank like two Red Bulls and then like we took naps. Like, I was like, I almost feel like I drank a Red Bull and got more tired from it than I do when I don't have it, when I don't have like
Hmm.
and I also feel like sugar has been like making me go comatose too. Like if I like eat candy or something, like instead of getting like hyper and then crashing, it's almost just like a no, I'm ready to go lay down.
Well, dude, I feel like I hit 30 and all of a sudden chocolate, candy, any like of that like dead sugar
Mhm.
just sits in my gut.
Yeah.
Like it is just heavy, and I'll be real. I love chocolate. I've been buying like Dove chocolate because I'll keep Dove chocolates in the freezer, and I'll have like a Dove chocolate as like a snack to like suck on because it's frozen. Love
Yeah.
that. Here's a sneaky treat. Um, I'll be honest, they just don't hit. They've been just not as good. I eat a chocolate and my mouth kind of feels gross after, and I'm like, like
Yeah, I'm
the
kind of getting that way
sugars.
with, like, a lot of different things that I used to, like, love. Like, I'll still find myself, like, crushing, like, a bag of, like, Nerds gummies or something like that, you know? But, like,
Every
even
once in a
then,
while.
like, it just isn't the same as it used to be. And then, like, yeah, like, chocolate itself, like, it just isn't I don't know. It's good, but, like, I don't know, it's not something that I crave like I used to.
No, and I recognize I find myself focusing not on necessarily health, but I have this idea of like wanting to be healthier. So I'm not out here like, oh, I'm having candy, gotta guilt myself. But I have candy and I'm like, was that really worth it? Like, and that's the question I ask myself. Is it worth it? Was it
Yeah.
worth that like candy, like sugar rush? Like it was really nice tasting. Sugar, candy, chocolate every once in a while is good. But was it really worth the like
Yeah,
Not really.
I need to get that mentality kind of like to hit with like fast food, you know? Like I need
Dude,
this like I used to be like I just think about candy all the time, and now I barely crave it. But I'll still eat it if it's in front of me, but like it's less like an
Mhm.
intense craving. Now I need that with fast food, where it's like, nah, like it sounds good sometimes. It's just in front of me, I'll eat it, but realistically, I don't want it like I do now.
Yeah.
That'd be
I'll
nice.
I'll be I'll be honest, man, dude. So fast food has been hitting me really poorly, and I don't know if it's because I transitioned away from it. I talked about this last year. I moved away from eating fast food as much, and it's definitely been good for me. But I absolutely love fast food. But
Yeah.
every time I go for fast food these days, it's not good. Like I broke my oath. I did go to Taco Bell after improv because it's right
I
across
knew
the
you,
street from improv.
listen, you were like, hold on, you were like, Popeyes, we're not doing Popeyes for the rest of the year. I was like, I believe that. I believe you can do that. And you're like, Taco Bell too. And I'm like, nope.
Well, I'll be real, dude. I went to that Taco Bell. I got home. I got 3 Doritos Locos Tacos. They're number 6, not Supreme. 3 Doritos Locos Tacos and a large drink was $12. What? That is $4 for a Doritos Loco Taco, and your soda's like $1. Well, I don't under
No, the soda, a
oh, the
large
soda's
drink
like
is about
$3.
$3.
Yeah, so it's $3 per item, which is insane to me.
It's easy. I think McDonald's got into our brain when they used to do like any size soda for $1. Like now, like all of a sudden, every fast food place, I just think of like the drinks just costing $1. But it's
Mhm.
like that's not how it is. You go get like a large Baja Blast at Taco Bell, that's costing you like $3.
Yeah. I Yeah, I was gonna say I do want to highlight this comment real quick. Is there a creative outlet you guys would be interested in trying? Any specific activity you think would help it work? So, do you have anything? We've talked about all the ones we've done. Block all the same ones for you. Anything new?
So it's not necessarily new, but it's something that I haven't done in a while. And I know we've talked about it a lot. There was a time where you and I and my friend tried to like get ourselves started diving into it more, and I know it's something you do a good amount of. I do want to kind of dive back into writing. I
Yeah,
think writing would be good. Now, whether or not I think that that helps me with work, I could see it doing that, especially from an organizational sense. But
yeah,
like, it's not like, oh, this like I'm not gonna go like writing work things, but like, it might be able to kind of get the brain working creatively in ways that maybe will help in the workplace. As
yeah.
well as, like I said, just organization, like like planning out my steps and everything are definitely like skills that can be applied to planning out my work week.
Yeah. I want to highlight because I saw one of my friends online talking about how he was diving basically headfirst into his marketing agency. He wanted to like make all of his stuff pop off, and he's like, I'm giving up everything. This is everything. This is my focus. I'm dropping everything for this. And I want to caution those types of ideas, and I'm seeing like Jordan when you're talking about, hey, I want to get into writing and doing a little bit more. Those are skills that translate directly. I do think that writing, especially not work related things, is the like big call to action here.
Yeah.
Because we're highlighting what activity you think would help at work. All of these activities are like, okay, what can I translate into being a better business owner? How does this translate into being whatever? I think if you're working on your writing, it just translates into you being a better person because you're working on being human. And so there's a lot less of directly applicable, hey, I'm a writer. I want to learn how to write. It's much more, hey, I want to learn how to write better because it helps me with my thinking and processing thoughts. And then I can also translate that to editing and looking at things at work and being able to,
Yeah.
translate AI a little bit better.
So
I feel
like
like
what
I
do you
meandered a lot.
what do you think is like the biggest creative outlet that has helped you? Like not something you're looking to do, but like something that you've already done that kind of has helped you in the workspace, like something you've done in your personal time that has helped you in your
Oh,
workplace.
dude, that's good. So like Tim and I were talking about this, and if you don't know, if you haven't paid attention to this podcast, you haven't watched all of our episodes. Tim is one of our good friends. He currently is just started releasing a writing podcast, and I've been listening to that a little bit. But um, one of his big things is finishing projects. Like the goal is always to finish a project and work on finishing projects. And so one of my big like, hey, I did this thing is creating like a world doc for one of my campaigns. I don't think it's a giant project. I wrote probably about 10 pages in total, and I did a bunch of like NPC work, and I created like a little doc. But I'm really proud of putting all of this kind of presentation together, putting this world doc together, building out some of the lore, building out some of the NPCs. And that was like an initial pass through for our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Now, that initial like 10-page doc, I built that up and now is probably like 40 or 50 pages in total. But like that initial really clean draft, I'm really proud of that. And I think it gave me the like, oh, I wrote enough to like get my ideas down, and it's like a reference doc. It's like my
Yeah.
own Wikipedia. It doesn't have everything tried and true. It's not factual, but I did it. I did the thing and it's there.
Yeah.
It's probably not something I'm going to show off ever, but
So so for me, when it comes to like D&D world building and everything,
yeah.
like I almost create separate docs like for like what the people are doing in the world and the world itself. Like
Mhm.
I will always sit down and I will build out like a this is the name of the world, this is the name of the cities, the countries, the people, like what's going on, what's the back history and all of that into one document. But then like if I start trying to combine that then into the things that we're discovering as we play with like the characters and what they're doing, the people they talk to, the things that happen, the way the world changes. And I go back and I try and change that in the old document. Then all of a sudden I start kind of like jumbling it up and getting kind of like overlapping in on myself. I've been open about I kind of struggle with like large text, like comprehension, and it's crazy because that's even the same case with my own writing.
Yeah.
Like if I my document, my page can be like a 10-page like world building thing, but then if I like expand that to like 20, I'm going to have a hard time going back to that and like reading through it and like kind of grasping like the state of the world and everything. So I almost need to have like, no, I'm just going to go back to the most recent document and see what was said there. I can't just update one big one. Does that make
See,
sense?
yeah, and this is where I think it really comes in to where I want to talk about how we can kind of make better decisions and do like organizations
Yeah.
when we're like working on these creative pursuits, because when we get into organization is huge. Being able to figure out the best way to do your work and organize your work is huge. We have recently transitioned to using a ticketing system internally. We call it Nextcloud. I think it's like open source. You can probably go
Yeah.
use it, but our internal team set it up for us and we use it all internally. And it's really awesome. We're able to kind of keep tickets. Making it into a habit for us has been huge. Instead of keeping things in our head and needing to track all of them in, 18 million different docs, we can put everything in the Nextcloud and keep track of everything there. And now there's 100% growing pains as we take on this new like organization system of figuring out like logistically how does this really work for us, and being like, okay, crap, well, um I need to start adding dates to tickets, because if I don't date a ticket and I can't see it when I first look at it, it just ends up in like the big scheme of things. And this is, I want to translate this to D&D, where you talk about your doc and you're like a constantly evolving, I need to reread like the most recent. For me, when I put that doc together, Tim talks about this mosaic method of writing, which is, hey, think of it as like you're going to create a bunch of different squares and eventually you're going to sew all of these together into a full quilt basically. So when I created my initial doc, I came up with three different tabs. I was like NPCs, characters. And I just, every single time I have a new NPC and character, I just add it to the bottom. And I just control F that thing like a Wikipedia for
Yeah.
NPCs. And that's one of my like, okay, I'm proud of that. But as soon as I have that, I'm like, okay, I made that and I made a places and then I made a story. So I put some of the places in there, gave them descriptions, and then I made the story like the running doc. And I'll tell you 100%, I now have like a factions tab, and I've created a bunch of these different tabs that I can reference like Wikipedia all within a Google Doc realistically.
Yeah.
And that's like that evolution of thought that I really think is important, because I'm like, okay, wait, I can use all of these different tabs, which, hell, have you used different tabs on Google Docs?
Yes. Well, so no, what I typically do on Google Docs is
Yeah.
instead I will do like headers that
Okay.
you actually put headers in, and then it'll give you like a navigation bar on the side that you can kind of use to like jump around.
Oh, interesting. And
Yeah,
I will
so,
say,
like, it'll be, like, like, NPCs, like, H2, and then so, like, then it'll, like, come over on the side, and then, like, any H3s will become, like, nested underneath that, and you'll have, like, a whole little, like, table of contents kind of to, like, go through.
that's kind of, yeah. So I see another question over here. Are there any creative outlets that you regret trying or putting time into, and why? I feel like this is
Um,
a universal question. How many creative pursuits have you dropped in the past year?
the past year, not as many as you think in the past year, but that's probably
Mm,
because, like, I haven't dove into nearly as many. I think if you were to ask college Jordan how many creative outlets he's given up, it would be a lot. you
yeah.
know, I don't find myself dedicating like as much. And then the things that I do dedicate my time to now that I'm older, I do feel like I get a little bit more buy-in and a little bit more commitment too. You look at things like our improv class. I'm like one of the few people who hasn't missed a single class of that yet.
Mhm.
Like I do find myself being much more open and able to commit to things. So it's harder for me to regret them because I'm seeing them through. Whereas I used to kind of like start something and then give up on it. And then that's when I really start to feel that regret.
Yeah, it's the experience of like, hey, I'm going to be able to commit to this. I want to try this out. And also, like, I'll be realistic, being able to put the energy and effort in to like make it good and nice. I There is something to be said for being in a comfortable enough financial situation to be like, yeah, I want to try out painting Warhammer figurines. And you can go out and try that. Like you can drop $100 to go try that out, even if it's not your biggest hobby. And that's my most recent one. So if I need to call it out, I did drop $100 on all of the stuff I needed to paint Warhammer figurines, and
A
I
hundred
did a
dollars ain't when we're talking in the like in the war or the sorry the Warhammer world. $100 really
no,
isn't that much to drop.
it was nothing. It was nothing, but it was like a lot for testing out a hobby that I definitely did not stick with, and I I mean I spent a lot of time, energy, and effort on it before dropping the
Yeah,
money,
because I'm sure
which
you were looking into painting methods. You were looking at
yeah,
what paints to get, the colors.
and
Like you had to
so
figure out your different Warhammer factions. Like
exactly. So like realistically, depending on how you go about your creative outlets, depending on how you go about finding your hobbies, if you're just diving into every new thing head first and you're dropping $100 without any doing any research, you're going to drop a lot and you're going to waste a lot. And don't do that. Do your research. Do some time, spend some time reading, spend some time watching YouTube videos, figure out how it's done, look up the best product. And at least for me, that's part of the fun. Like the research
yeah.
and learning is a lot of the fun for me. And I don't think that's universal.
So there's a lot of times where the research is almost more fun, like especially before you're into a hobby, where you start doing the
Mhm.
research for the entry. Because then sometimes like you'll get into the hobby and be like, oh, this is all right, but
Yeah.
then like you hyped it up through all the research, and it was almost like that portion was more fun than actually starting what you were doing.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes realistically, the barrier to entry for some hobbies is just very high. Like playing Warhammer 40K, it's a very high barrier to entry. There's a lot of stuff to learn. You got to find the right people to play with, you got to find the right groups. And then, I mean, hell, everything. If you want to get into like camping, you can go car camping for relatively cheap. But if you don't enjoy camping, it's not going to be a fun time. And it's a lot of money for down payment on all
Yeah,
of the stuff that you need for all of that. And then even worse, if you want to try out backpacking, like I'll be real, Jordan, last year Cassidy and I went backpacking for the first time,
yeah.
and
I went backpacking for the first time like 3 years ago.
yeah, I'd never done it before, but it was great. I did enjoy it, but I remember like I dropped $170 on a backpack, and
Yeah.
I dropped in total. We spent like $800 or $900 on camping equipment for backpacking.
But that is also like a one-time expense. You guys
Yeah.
want to go camping again, you guys have your tent, you have your sleeping bag, you
Yes.
have your backpacks.
And it's worth noting in this aspect, we talked about how research is fun. Cassidy did all the research.
Yeah.
So she had all of the fun of like picking out all the brands, like figuring out what we were kind of going for.
Yeah.
And not that I like missed out, quote unquote, but I definitely kind of went along with her expertise. And after going, I loved it. It was glorious. I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to go, and I'm really excited to go this year. but holy crap, if I hadn't and I had wasted that money, I would be really upset.
Yeah.
Oh,
My brother's a big backpack hiker, mountain climbing and all that. And he last time I was up north, like was just trying to get rid of it and gave me like I want to say it was like a $200 to $300 like camping rock backpack.
dang,
Yeah.
that's sick,
Like
man.
I'm going to use that.
I mean, use
I
it,
was trying
man.
to see if my scooter could fit
I,
in.
I am not kidding. We're gonna plan a D&D like camping
Yeah, I
trip,
mean I'm down
even
for
if
it.
it's me, you, and like if Chris
Yeah,
is up here in
I
Colton. And
picture that being less of like a like backpacking and more of like a we're gonna go get a campsite,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a campsite. We bring up like one or two cars. We like carpool up to
Yeah, we all
Kalamazoo
have
or
our own
something like
tents
that.
around a fire, and then we'll bring like a fold out table or something that we can use for playing D&D on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that would be sick, and I'm all for that for sure.
100%. It would be. It would not be a backpacking through
Yeah,
the whatever. Although
yeah.
I do want to do the backpacking through the woods. I see another comment here. Let's highlight that. How do you know when a creative outlet is working in your favor? When do you know it is time to try something new?
I don't like it really depends kind of on what your goal is. Like not all creative outlets need to like work for you. Sometimes they just make you happy to do. And if that's the case, if your goal isn't like, hey, how can I take this creative outlet and learn to make me a better person in the workspace, not everything needs to be like that. So like I would be careful kind of looking at it from that mindset. However, sometimes like I'd say to know when it's time to like find a new outlet is when you're just not getting joy from it. A creative outlet should be something that you enjoy through and through. You shouldn't be doing something that you hate as a means of creativity. So
100%.
like if you are not getting joy in that, that is going to be your sign that it's time to move on.
I will say straight up, if you don't enjoy reading, you still need to read. Go read. Go watch educational
Do
materials. You're
you
not going to
consider
enjoy
reading to
learning.
be a creative outlet though? Because I don't believe that when you are reading, you are not being creative.
That's fair. I guess I want to highlight. We're not talking about creative pursuits here, but I want to highlight. Hey, you're not going to enjoy these things, but you need to do these. Continue learning. Always continue learning. Please, always be learning. ABL,
Unless it's Mad Lib.
unless it's.
Oh, good.
Well, dude, realistically, so one of the hobbies I have, or hobbies I, whatever we want to call it. What are we using? Creative outlets. Um, Board games. Would you consider that kind of a creative outlet? Mm,
No, not
not
really.
really.
Again, like where's the creativity in it? Maybe if you're making up your own rules or something. Like if you
Well,
if
it's
you have like house rules or something that you're kind of like collaborative making or something, then it gets a little creative. But ultimately, if you're just kind of following the rules and playing a board game, one to one how it's meant to be, I don't see that as creative. It's still an outlet. I just don't see the creative side of that.
see in my head, I do think it would be creative because if you're playing a board game, how you go about making the decisions in that board
I
game
was just
are
about to say
creative.
like the strategizing behind
Strategies
a
are
board
creative.
game maybe could be considered something that I would think of as creative.
But as we were talking, 2026 year of the spectrum as we know it. Um,
Year of Cody Spectrum.
and I'm definitely on it, man. I don't have turkey or bread for my sandwiches. And for those of you who are new here,
He
I've
had
been
a
having
panic
a
attack this morning.
dude, it's not good. But I've had a turkey sandwich for lunch every single workday for probably a year now. It's just what I do, and I don't have turkey today, so I'm a little upset about that.
You're just gonna go to Meyer and get turkey.
We scheduled a Meyer pickup for this afternoon, but it's not until like 4, so I might just
So you're
not
gonna
eat
go there,
until
get turkey, come back, go there at 4 and get your groceries.
I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy. But I you're the spectrum, like I was saying. So there are games where it's like, hey, you're playing, Seven Wonders, and I think there are other games like Apples to Apples, which are a lot more, hey, creative. And so if you're like on those, yeah, you're doing something creative at least a little bit, and there, I mean, hell, that works in your favor at least slightly, right? You're
Yeah,
building community, you're building up your skill set, which is super nice. But I
yeah,
do agree, you want to if you're not enjoying something and you're trying to force it, that's not good, man. Like that's going to suck.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like if you're forcing creativity, I don't think it's benefiting anybody. Because I don't think anything that you kind of teach yourself will stick. Because I think a lot of the times when you're like forcing yourself to do something that you're not finding joy in, you're almost in a mindset of like just get to the end of it,
Yeah.
and at that point, like you're not gaining anything.
Yeah. And we were talking yesterday, Mel and I, about consistency. And it was basically like, have the boys gotten complacent? We're consistency, and I was asking her and giving her a rundown of like, hey, so Jordan's mentioned a couple of times like, hey, we should take a break for a week so that we can kind of nail down our show. And I'm like the over here like, no, we're never going to take a week off, we need to keep this going. Like, how does that feel for you? And so that consistency is super nice, but I have been thinking about shortening down show length just in
Yeah.
general and doing a lot more like clean and tight show. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think as if we look at like our viewer base and the amount of people we have watching, I think we would benefit a lot from shorter shows because I think it's a little bit more accessible to people, to new viewers.
Hmm.
Watching us for an hour, 2 hours every week isn't something a lot of people can like super commit to. Whereas if we did have like a 20 to 30 minute show, like, that's a little bit easy. Someone can watch that on their lunch break, you know?
Yeah. I specifically called out. So I know I mentioned it. I mentioned it in our morning meeting. I mentioned it on the live a little bit earlier, but Tim's done a podcast. It's let me make sure I get the name for it. Our friend Tim. It is the Fiction Writers Tool Shed, Practical Tools for Authors. But those episodes that he comes out with are all between 15 and 20 minutes, and it was the perfect length. I realized because when I was driving to Improv on Sunday, I was listening to Tim, and it was the perfect length of listening from my drive to get to Improv. I got to listen to a full episode, and I got to come away with like, hey, this is a great little actionable step game plan thing to use. And I really liked that concept, the shorten it down, get something really really clean, even if it is like, hey, here's our 20 to 30 minute episode on Google business profile optimization. We're going to cover these 5 points and why it's important for you, something like that. I do think we should do episodes like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like if we want to, like, once like every like last podcast of the month, do an hour long one or something like that, or if we don't want to break from our current format and maybe like vice versa, every last podcast of the month is when we do the shorter one, like there's ways to experiment with it and kind of play around to figure out what's going to work best for us.
Mhm.
Quit reading those teams chats.
It was
We're
Mel.
live on a podcast. I got them too. Quit reading.
Mel pinged us. I needed to make sure that we weren't like off.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. But that's just what she's seeing. We're good.
Like that's what she's seeing through Riverside, not through
Yep.
like YouTube, correct?
Yep. That's
Okay.
that's the only reason I looked, I promise.
I heard the pings and I knew Mel was like I saw her like chat bubbles up there like a minute ago, and I heard the ping come through, but then I also saw the ping from Edgar, and I was like, he's gonna go into that Edgar chat and respond, and it's like, we're
No.
live, Cody, we're live. This is your 1 hour break from working. You don't get a lunch break, Cody. You get this. This is lunch with the boys. This is all you get.
To be fair, this is all I get. I have no turkey sandwich today. It's gonna be a tough afternoon.
That's actually low key why I'm taking the rest of the day off, so I don't have to deal with your bullshit.
My hungry ass as I wait for the turkey to get here. No, I will eat something. It's not.
If you got grouchy enough, I'd send you some turkey, dude. I would do like a shipped order to your door of just one thing of turkey, just lunch meat.
Ah, dude.
You do?
Honestly,
Listen, this is completely off topic for the conversation, but I am curious about this. Are you like a prepackaged turkey lunch meat person? Like you go over to like the little cold case and grab out some turkey, or do you
yep.
go up and have them cut it yourself?
Nope. It is. I get like I don't even know what brand it is. It's
Can we
whatever
both
brand
admit
Caston
that
used
we're
to.
wrong? Because I do that too, and it would be better if we would just go up to the deli and have them slice it.
Is it?
Yeah, I
It's so
think
much
it's
more expensive though.
I don't think it's as much more expensive as you think it is. Because you can also decide what weight you're getting of it and like how many slices and everything.
You
It's probably
did.
the right move, and there's more selection. They have like different. I used to do it a lot, but like I've gotten lazy and complacent and stopped doing it. But I'm kind of like, I kind of want to go back and get some like chicken breast, like shredded or not shredded, like sliced chicken breast from there. That'd that hit.
I'm sorry to distract, but have you ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, yeah.
Lazy and Complacent, title of your sex tape.
Ha, good one. Good one.
I don't know. I haven't made a Brooklyn Nine-Nine quote in a long ass time. But as soon as you said that, I Jake Peralta came into my head and was like,
Well,
bang.
was that an actual one that he has said before, or is that
No,
one you just kind of was like, that's a Jake Peralta line
that's
right
a
there?
Jake Peralta right there.
Yeah,
And
hell
I'll be
yeah.
real, man. So if we're talking about role models in television,
Jake Peralta
we're
should be at
not.
the top of your
We're
list.
not. That is not the topic. Indeed, we're talking about how creative outlets make you better at problem solving, make you better at decision making. So, in decision making, Jordan, I honestly, I bring it back to D&D because I feel like D&D is the easiest one to bring it back to.
D&D, like the foundational skills in D&D are things that can be applied to almost anything in life. I truly do believe that.
Yeah, and I want to sit here and honestly, we should just do this where it's like, hey, if you haven't, go play Dungeons and Dragons. Flat out, it will be the best thing that you can do for your career. I don't like
The best is a tough thing to say.
100% of the
best is
time
a
it will
really
get you a
hard thing to
promotion.
guarantee for their
It
career.
will get you the girl or boy of your dreams or person.
Hey, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. I got my first girlfriend I've had in 5 years.
It took you how many like you played D&D for
Like
2
3 or
years?
4. Yeah, like I had a girlfriend when I started playing D&D, and then didn't have one after.
Ooh, okay. Sorry, there was a highlight here, and I want to draw this because we're a little off topic. Can collaboration in creative spaces improve team dynamics at work? When do you think they don't? So, I want to paint a picture for you guys really quick of how our work functions and how I came into this company. So, Jordan and I have worked for the same company for you've been
You're
there for
at 4.5. I'm at 3.5, I think.
yeah,
Maybe even longer than that. You might be at are you pushing 5 and I'm at 4?
I'm pushing 6.
Okay, then I'm at 5. I'm pushing 5. Whatever.
I'm gonna
Dates
hit
and
6.
times, dude. They're all the
Yeah.
same.
So we've been here for a hot second. And when we first started the company, when I first started at the company, I was part of a group of hires. And we were kind of adrift. We all got hired into the same time and we were kind of like created as a cohort. And I'll be real, we got pretty close. We were able to kind of hang out as friends and get to know each other. And that friendship, that relationship that bloomed out of just being, hired around together and doing similar jobs has flourished into a great situation these days. And I'll be real, the people who are creative, all of the different guys in that group, all the different people that I've had the chance to meet, experiencing their creativity and even just tangentially being aware has been huge for me.
Yeah.
Like Eric goes and creates music. Stevie created a bunch of music from us in our recordings and doing a
Yeah.
bunch of random creative things. You did that soundboard. Jay is over here doing his music shit. And it's like we're doing Dungeons and
3 of
Dragons.
the 4 were all just music.
Well, it's so we have a bunch of people who are doing music. We have a bunch of people like Tim and me and you who wanted to do writing. We have a bunch of people who are doing Dungeons and Dragons who wanted to get together and play. And we've got people who want to do improv. We've got people who want to do I know I want to do stand up. And Micah said he's got a tight 10 minutes, a loose 15. And I'm so freaking jealous. I want to hear it. I want to go to that improv class, man, or that stand
Yeah.
up class.
Yeah, I
So
want to hear it. I want to hear his tight 10, loose 15. All right.
yes.
Listen. Anybody can say they have one, but until I've heard it,
Until you've performed it, I'm not here
yeah.
for it. So, anyways, that's a challenge. Micah, if you want to hop on the pod, we'll give you a 10-minute time slot. We'll make it tight.
Just get him on here to go through his whole thing. We'll set up a whole little stage recording and everything. I wish we
Yeah.
still had the office with the green room.
Oh my
That would
gosh,
have
we
been
don't.
perfect for a stand-up set.
Oh, that would have actually been. I'm kind of sad that
Get
we
it
don't.
back. Hey Joe, if you're listening, get us 3 Mile back.
I also don't want the office back. I'll be real. I'm kind of here for not.
I
being
wouldn't
in the
mind
office.
going in on Thursdays with the boys.
That's fair. I mean, being able to go in to an office one day a week would not be awful. The thing is, most of the boys aren't even in Grand Rapids. It's me and
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I know. It would just be you and I in the bullpen.
Who is it? Actually, just you and I left.
Like from the group of people that was there. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, a good chunk of those people aren't even with the company anymore.
yeah. Sam's in
Then
KZU. Mike is in KZU.
management is still around, the people who would come into like the management offices, but from like the bullpen slash like open space, yeah, Sam's gone, Mike is gone,
Dang,
Adam's not in the company anymore.
that's kind of
Jay's not with
crazy.
the company anymore. Eric is kind of still around.
Yeah, Eric is
But
still
also,
around.
Eric
He's still
wasn't
doing.
even like a full employee. Eric was a contractor who just came in because he liked hanging out with us.
That's true. Which is, I mean, that's
All the
super
more
nice.
reason to get us 3 mile.
So, anyways, I'm rehighlighting. Can collaboration in creative spaces improve team dynamics at work? When do you think they don't? One, yes, they 100% can.
Yeah.
And I would even further say that if you want to be creative, go find other people who are being creative around you, even if it's things that you don't and aren't involved in. Like Tim, I talk about his podcast. He's shouted out to me. He's selling it to me. It makes me want to do better. Tim, that's awesome. You did a thing. You're completing a podcast. It's on Spotify, brother. That's sick. It makes me want to do better. And I know Jordan, you flat out mentioned like, oh, you're doing all this stuff. It makes me want to try and like do
Yeah.
your oh, what was
Like,
it? The presents for December, your Amazon affiliate stuff, which is
yeah.
super cool.
Yeah. It got me out there to do it. I guess I will say that was one creative outlet that maybe like I should classify as like one of those things that kind of fell off. But it was
Mm.
like wasn't thought out enough to like really be able to work. And then on top of that, like I think I hit a wall where like I was waiting on Amazon to approve something, and then they just never told me why they didn't approve it, and so I was just like, well, that kind of sucks, and I can't get my full vision out there without it. So I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know. Website's still there, mygiftprompt.com. Go check it out.
Which I mean, it exists. It's up to if you have the time, energy, and effort, and you want to like do all of the work that it requires, especially if it's after the time for gift prompting or anything like that. And
Yeah.
on top of that, I mean, hell, the so when do those dynamics not work? Do you have any examples?
Um. Well, I feel like so if you're trying to do like a team building exercise to kind of make the team work a little bit better. Like you're doing something collaborative outside of work to kind of improve your abilities inside of work. Like I think a big thing is the team itself. Like sometimes, you might have someone who doesn't fit the rest of like everything that you're doing properly. And so I could see that being a detriment in the long run because like if you're trying to do something collaborative and they just act almost as a disruptor in that, then all of a sudden that is going to also carry over to the workplace where they think it may be all right to then be a disruptor because sometimes people are very good at differentiating like their outside world from their work world. And so like someone who may be like a calm follows the rules in person might be, like I said, like a disruptor or somebody who's like, I'm a little bit more of a wild card in my free time. So now you're bringing them into like free time collaboration exercises, which is going to then make them think, oh, this is the time that I can be that wild card. I can be that disruptor. And now they're comfortable doing that around the people at work. And now potentially they carry that to the workplace. Does
Yeah,
that make
you
sense? That
can.
was a lot of words.
Yeah, well, it's you can create a situation where people open up. I'm imagining, and this is not a situation that we've experienced, thankfully, but it's definitely a situation that I'm sure someone has experienced. You guys go out to a work party, someone gets super drunk and belligerent and annoying, and now you have to go back to work with that person, and they're like, I got drunk and belligerent and annoying, and
Yeah,
no
like
one
at
said
like a
anything,
John
so now
Mulaney
I'm,
concert or
yeah,
John Mulaney
exactly.
show.
But then they start acting belligerent and shitty at work.
Yeah.
Um, because they got away with it while being
Hmm.
on a company sponsored event, not
Exactly.
an outside event with friends. There was one John Mulaney concert.
Oh,
We
what?
had a school
Oh,
drink
what?
at John
I was
Mulaney
just
concert.
like spitballing, just saying something. Do you have an experience with
Oh,
a John Mulaney
I think we've
concert?
talked about that on the
Cody?
pod before.
Huh?
I think that's something that we've mentioned once or
We have,
twice.
yeah, we've talked about it before, I think. Or
Yeah.
we talked about it somewhere, like not that long ago. We mentioned it.
Yeah, I want to say
Might
it
have been
was.
at improv. It might have been at might have been at New Holland after improv.
It actually might have been
I
it.
think it was.
It might have been. That does sound right.
Because I also remember us sitting around that table, and I think Kate was like, "Who even is John Mulaney?"
I do remember that. That was funny. But I want to pull this up. Speaking of in-person versus remote work, how do you think that could stun creativity? Being remote is very difficult to be creative sometimes, especially collaborative creativity. But there are options. Like there's options to solve every problem, I feel.
I think it runs one level a little bit deeper than like just it's hard to be creative work from home. Sometimes just motivation as a whole is just like hard to find when you work from home every single day.
Mhm.
And so like if you're not motivated to really do anything, you're definitely not going to be motivated to be creative.
Yeah. And it's I mean, hell, motivation in and of itself is like that should be its own topic. Like get yourself
It has been.
motivated.
We've done it before.
Yeah. Get go check out our pod. We talked about motivation, I'm sure. But get yourself motivated, and being motivated like hell. It helps to have other people who are motivated around you. You are a reflection of the people that you surround yourself with. So like surround yourself with good people. Which I mean, if you have one of those disruptors on your team who's getting belligerent and causing problems, it's probably not going to be helpful. Uh, do you have you experienced that in a workplace, Jordan, where you've basically like, oh, I'm like ready to go to work, and then someone comes in and they're like a complete drag? It's
Yeah.
awful, man.
Yeah, it's I've seen it the most in like a retail environment.
Yeah,
Like because like retail, I feel like you get so many people that are so outspokenly hating on their job like that like it's like oh I hate being here, this is the worst, and like so you can come in like with a full head of steam like I'm gonna come in, this is gonna be a great day of work, I'm ready to go, and then as soon as that person's like oh we got this fucking manager here and this over here isn't getting done and of course they're gonna make more work for us and all of that, and then you start to be like yeah that stuff does kind of suck and then it's like okay that dragged
yeah.
me down a little bit too.
Yeah, it's easy to wear off on others if you are going to have a negative mindset, and so having that negative mindset, like you mentioned in the industries I think that matter. If you're in retail or customer service, if you're serving, like I remember serving, if another server came in a bad attitude and you were like near them, you were having a bad time. Like it
Mhm.
did actively wear off. But I think that's like also a general workplace vibe. If you create a good environment and you have like a good setup to let your employees succeed, you're going to be better off. And so I think of Cassidy's working at the hospital. She talks about different crews. So there are she's an X-ray tech. There's a lot of different X-ray techs out there. They do a bunch of different things. They have a bunch of different locations. And she'll be like, "Oh, well, I was down in emergency, but the team that I was with in emergency was really good today, so everything went great." And it's like, okay, everyone had a good vibe. One person off can really just throw everything for a loop and ruin that.
Emotion breeds emotion.
Yeah,
Joy breeds joy, like sadness breeds sadness. Whatever vibe you have, it's contagious to the people around you. And so, if someone is in, unfortunately, the way the world works is a negative emotion will be stronger than a positive one.
yeah.
So like it's easier to drag someone down than it is to lift them up. That's how gravity works.
But
You
I
know,
wanna say, you can gaslight yourself into being in a better mood. So, like, in that situation, I would almost challenge you to, okay, someone's being negative, counter them. They are the darkness and you are the light. Put up a
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. We've been, that's something I feel like we've preached to my friend out there recently. It was just kind of like, you tell yourself like today's going to be a good day enough. Like, even if you don't believe it while you're telling yourself it, like you have, like, it's one more reason to believe it at the end of the day. Like you can trick yourself into believing it if you say it enough. And
Yeah.
um, it's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do. Definitely easier to say than to do.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that's where I think that's where the magic comes in. It is easier to say it than it is to do it. So don't worry about doing it, just say it.
Hmm.
Boom. That's it. Don't you're not going to be happier. That's not what it's for. You're not accomplishing anything. Everything is pointless. I'm going to be happy.
The like
Just say
the
it.
problem lies in like if you don't believe like if you can't even say that you think like today will be a good day, then it will never be a good day because like
Yeah.
you're already deciding that it won't be by your inability to say that it could be.
Which, oh, dude, I do that all the time. I'm so bad sometimes, and I've gotten better at it. And I realize, I think this is like that transition when you talk to me about being optimist versus pessimist, where instead of kind of spiraling the toilet bowl of like, oh my gosh, everything is awful, the world is going to trash, it's hey, I can't impact any of this, so let me focus on other things in life. And these like hour long talks that we have are really good opportunities to basically like, hey, let me think about all of this stuff that's going on. It's nice to have, we're generally talking about topics we have some experience with, um but like, instead of spiraling the toilet bowl, being able to think about how to be a better person or being happy, instead of, oh, more death and destruction and the weather's awful and it's cold and gray. Instead, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I will figure out how to paint Warhammer, and Dungeons and Dragons is fun. Maybe I can get the guys scheduled and we can play Leaf Breaker. And what do I want the new T-shirt design to look like?
Yeah.
More,
Start with
more.
the t-shirt, get us a t-shirt design, get us all excited, get us out there for Leaf Breaker. When we have
Exactly.
a bit of progression there, then that'll kickstart everything else.
Exactly. And there's that too. If you come out there and you bring that energy, like, that is really, really strong. I will say that that's a good example. When we got you those t-shirts, I know that you guys love those t-shirts, but
Yeah.
I think about those all the time. Like, you wore it to improv on Sunday. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I see them, I'm like, ah, I love these t-shirts.
Yeah, they're great shirts. Like
It's just a good
even just
feeling.
like the green color pattern that's on them is real clean. Like the logo looks good. It's not like peeling off with washes or anything. It's sticking
No, they've
together
held
good.
up.
They're good shirts.
Yeah, it's good shit. We're gonna have to get more of them eventually. But with all of that said, again, we're talking about creative pursuits, what you can do creatively, and how that can improve you at work. I think the main points that we wanted to get to were, hey, if you're being creative, you're stressing your brain, you're building new pathways. Brain plasticity is huge, and so you're working on that flexibility. Your brain being a little bit healthier, definitely. Like, every study that I've ever read, and go Google them because I'm not a brain scientist, will tell you that if you use your brain more often, if you're accessing more and more of your memory, it's going to be healthier for you. You get better at decision making, and finally, being able to apply that stuff at work, man. Like, if you're feeling healthier, if you're going through life and you're a little bit more organized, it's just like Jordan's always said, if you wake up and you make your bed, your day's going to be better.
I was
Period.
making my bed right before we went live.
You didn't do it when you wake up,
I
dude.
didn't do it today when I woke up.
Disappointed.
I
With
rolled out
that,
of bed and I
guys,
had 30 million missed messages from yesterday, dude.
everyone point at Jordan and say, shame, shame, shame. No, I'm just kidding.
The bed's made right here. Is your bed
We,
made?
well,
That's
I
not
mean,
your
this
bed.
isn't
I
my
know
bed.
that's not your bed. I know
This
that's
is
not
the
your bed.
cat's bed.
Yeah, is your bed made?
Yes.
Okay.
I do make that bed every morning. And we also wash your sheets. Also do that. We actually need to get new sheets. I ripped a hole in
I
our
need
most
new
recent one.
sheets and pillow. I'm thinking about just getting like all new bedding, new pillows, new pillowcases, new sheets.
Dude,
I got a little bit more income now. I've been sleeping on like the same sheets, like the rotating like two different sheet sets like for the past like 6 years.
dude,
It's time to just get all new everything.
you can get, final thing. Thanks for joining us, but we're gonna talk about some Amazon purchases and some betting. If you're new here, this is Good Rep Media. We're both part of a small bit.
Killing it.
Refresh.
Killing it.
This is Good Rep Media. My name's Cody Anderson. This is Jordan Vogel, and we are both workers for that business. If you're interested, if you own a small business, if you want to, work on that small business, if you're interested in reaching out to us, scheduling a free 30-minute audit of what you got going on online, come check us out. That's our link. Yeah, I'll chat with you for free for 30 minutes about anything you want, especially if it's D&D or Warhammer related. But I
Oh,
will
you'd
also
even
talk about
talk to
your
him about
website.
Warhammer. You're back onto maybe I want to do
Well,
Warhammer.
so I did a lot of research into Warhammer, brother.
Yeah.
There was a lot. Like,
Hey,
I still watch YouTube videos about Warhammer because
hey,
it's so fascinating. I
you
gotta
want to
read the
come talk?
books.
Hey, Chris and I are talking about going to the there's a improv show today at 7. It's like a free one before like a karaoke thing. If you
Mm,
wanted to show up to that, I know that's like right when you'd be getting out of work, but
yeah.
come on
I.
out and Chris would definitely be down to talk Warhammer with you. I guarantee it. He'd be excited about it.
How long is Chris going to be around?
Till Friday.
Hell yeah. Okay. Is he flying out Friday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know that I'm going to the show Friday night because there's a show Friday night at 9.
BattleBots. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the 9 show on Friday.
I've been to BattleBots the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I need to get to one show.
I'll probably come out to that again. I'd
Yeah,
be down for that.
I was gonna drop it in the group chat as we got closer, but
Yeah, as long as it don't matter.
with sheets, here's some secret sauce for you. Go look up. Personally, I do like Eddie Bauer sheets. So there's like Eddie Bauer flannel sheets.
Yeah.
Go to like the Amazon listing and click on all of the shitty designs because they will be discounted. We have moose sheets. They're $120 sheets. It costs us $35 because there's mooses on them. Yeah, they're really nice. They're not like the most expensive things. Realistically, they were like $60 or $70 sheets. That's what they were selling for, but the retail was $120, whatever.
Do you have nice pillows, or do you just have like pretty generic pillows?
I have pretty generic pillows. It is worth getting nicer pillows. Cassidy has a $50 Columbia pillow that's super nice, and I'm like,
I've thought about getting like a cooling gel pillow.
yeah, that's gonna be one of the next upgrades.
Yeah.
Your sleeping situation is one of the few really, really important things as you age.
I've been thinking about doing a mattress for a little while now, but also my mattress really isn't bad.
Yeah. Well, with that, I'm going to close this out. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. Go check your mattress.